It is the Titanic of books.
Soman, you don't want to compare your book to the ship that sunk?
It's like the Titanic, but like it's going to be rescued.
How about it doesn't sink at all? The king of metaphors.
It works. Hey, I'm Soman.
And I'm Jun.
And welcome to the return of EverNever TV. And we would not return unless we had something amazing coming. So for those of you who've been following my diary on Substack, you know that I have been working on a new novel for almost the last 2 years. It's consumed my life. It's consumed Jun's life too.
It's made us both crazy.
And I really want to announce it, but the thing is, we have a secret because there's something else we've been working on that is coming first. So new novel will be announced, but first things first. We have to talk about the graphic novel called Coven.
Today we're going to dive into what you guys can expect from Coven and how Soman came up with the idea, as well as announce a brand new contest to win sweet School for Good and Evil swag. So first, let's talk about the teaser a little bit.
Yeah, it's very different. I mean, this all started because I wanted to experiment with graphic novels, and I had worked with Joel Gennari on Red School, and we had so much momentum on that we thought, let's try something else. You know, we wanted to do something fun when School for Good and Evil was coming to an end. So this was 2020, and I remember the first ideas we were thinking of doing a graphic novel around the restaurant Beauty and the Feast from books 4, 5, and 6, and we couldn't get past the fact that you're stuck in one restaurant. You know, it just felt like it wasn't the best environment for illustration. And then I started thinking about how beloved the Coven were and how they really could anchor their own universe so that it wouldn't feel so much of a spin-off from School for Good and Evil, but rather something completely independent and new. So I almost think of Coven almost apart from School for Good and Evil. Obviously fans of the series are going to recognize plenty in it. But I think the best way to go into it is to think of it as a clean, fresh start inspired by the Three Witches from the series.
Can you give us anything about what the Coven is going to be doing?
Doesn't take place at the school. You know, when we left them in the series, we knew that they were really becoming kind of the vigilante detectives of the woods. And I love the idea of them being those amoral, neutral Sherlocks of the Endless Woods. But I also felt like if we had the case set in the Endless Woods, it would feel too School for Good and Evil, and I really wanted that familiar characters but new world feeling so that you could go into it completely fresh, and we almost don't need to mention School for Good and Evil at all in relation to Coven. So the case does not take place in the Endless Woods, is all I can say.
But in your mind, would you say it's part of School for Good and Evil canon?
That's a good question. I feel like that's going to be a reader question. I think of it as separate, but I can see arguments for both. So I think that's going to be something that you're going to tell us once you read it.
So you said you conceived this project in 2020, which was about the time that the School for Good and Evil film was being filmed. Did the movie influence the visuals of this at all?
I mean, I think for me it was just the idea of like, okay, we had finished the series, a movie was coming out. What was something else visual we could do to translate the world of the School for Good and Evil, which existed solely in words, into something that had a different medium? Coven to me seemed the ideal opportunity to take familiar characters but really expand the canvas. And there is a great opportunity in the future to do true canon School for Good and Evil graphic novels, which is something I would be truly excited about. But this was going to be my first dip into the waters to experiment with the form. It's something I don't know much about, you know, and I had a blast doing it. And obviously Jun was deeply involved with it too. I feel like it's been 4 years working on it, really. I will say that a graphic novel is more an artist's form than it is the novelist's form. Like, you know, yes, I'm going to write the script. Yes, I'm going to control the depiction of the characters and the language and all that kind of things. But at the end of the day, it really is an artist's playground. In this case, Joel Gennari did the art, and I think of Coven as a testament to the artist than it ever is going to be to the writer behind it. It really is a collaborative effort, which is something I'm not used to because I'm such a control freak. And I like everything to be 100% mine in the most dictatorial way. But Coven was really my first experiment in that. I mean, Red School too, but Red School was just Victoria and Jun just playing around in a fun sandbox, you know.
What do you think is the reason the Coven are such popular characters?
I think they were quite original in the sense of the dynamics between them. I think Hester especially people loved. as somebody who was like an avatar of all the inner strength they maybe couldn't express themselves. You know, I felt that way writing her. You know, I think they were beloved for a reason, and each of the three are different parts of me as well.
So we said we were going to have a contest. Our contest is going to be a Coven Cover Contest, where we are asking you guys to come up with your versions of what the Coven graphic novel cover is going to be. Here are the rules for entry.
To enter our Coven Cover Contest, please submit your cover via email attachment to evernevertvchannel@gmail.com. We will be selecting 3 honorable mentions who will receive a spotlight on Soman's social media, as well as a grand winner who will receive a double-sided SGE ruled journal, an SGE glow-in-the-dark swan pin, a digital copy of Soman's 2-part comic Red Skull, as well as a poster of the Red Skull comics, signed by Soman, all of this in a classic SGE knapsack.
So it's super important for Coven. If you want to reserve your copy, you should pre-order it. Check out the links below so you get it right when it comes out. That's your first intro peek at Coven. We'll have lots more to come, so stay tuned.
Bye guys.